Good evening, my fellow night owls. I, Eddie, will be your host tonight, and together we'll delve into the darkest corners of the ocean, where military forces have encountered and exploited creatures beyond our wildest imaginations. From colossal squids with razor-sharp beaks to elusive sea monsters and dolphins trained as aquatic assassins, these chilling tales will leave you questioning what truly lurks beneath the waves. So plug your nose, hold your breath, and take the plunge into tonight's episode of Whispers in the Dark. The Mysterious Pyrosomes. The USS Maddox Incident, which is considered to be the precursor to the Vietnam War, has long been a source of controversy and speculation. In 1964, the USS Maddox, a US Navy destroyer, was patrolling the waters off the coast of North Vietnam when it was allegedly attacked by North Vietnamese warships. However, the events of that night have been shrouded in mystery, with some suggesting that the attack may have been fabricated by the US government as a pretext for war. But new evidence has emerged that may shed light on what really happened that night. Marine biologist Ted Newberry has uncovered a theory that could explain the strange events of that fateful evening. According to Newberry, the objects on the radar that appeared as torpedoes may have been a rare organism known as pyrosomes. Pyrosomes are made up of thousands of individual organisms, creating a large, floating, see-through structure that can be up to 60 feet long. They emit a bright light, which accounts for the reports of lights on the night of the USS Maddox incident, which were confused as enemy cockpits and searchlights. Newberry's theory is that the pyrosomes may have been mistaken for North Vietnamese torpedo boats by the crew of the USS Maddox. This would explain why air support reported seeing no boats, and why the torpedoes on the radar appeared to have a mind of their own. The idea that pyrosomes may have been responsible for the USS Maddox incident is certainly a creepy one. Attacked by a giant squid. In 1978, the United States Navy frigate, the USS Stein, was deployed on a secret mission in the depths of the Pacific Ocean. The crew was performing special operations when their sonar system suddenly went offline, leaving them vulnerable to any underwater threats. What they found upon inspection was nothing short of spine-chilling. Upon returning to port, the crew discovered that the sonar system had been attacked. Deep slashes, measuring an enormous 4 feet in length, had been gouged into the delicate machinery. But that wasn't the worst of it. Within the cuts, the crew found large teeth, which upon closer inspection were identified as belonging to a giant squid's suction cups. The largest squid ever discovered by scientists was just under 43 feet long and weighed over 2,000 pounds. But the claws found on the USS Stein were believed to have come from a squid more than 3 times that size. Navy biologist F.G. Wood, who investigated the claws, could not rule out the possibility that this was in fact an undiscovered species, never before seen by mankind. It's not unheard of for giant squids to attack ships. The massive creatures are known to be hunted by sperm whales, who often display large wounds and scars from their battles. In fact, the damage to the USS Stein sonar system was eerily similar to injuries seen on whales attacked by giant squids. Because these two creatures are known to fight each other, it's possible that the squid mistook the ship for a whale and attacked it with all of its might. The thought of a monster squid lurking in the depths of the ocean, waiting to attack unsuspecting ships, is enough to send shivers down anyone's spine. Kretsch's Sea Monster. In the annals of maritime history, tales of sea monsters have always sparked the imagination. But a recently uncovered incident from over a century ago is proving the reality of such creatures may be closer than we think. On April 30th, 1918, a German submarine was captured by the British warship HMS Coropsis. The U-boat captain, Gunther Kretsch, told the British that his vessel was damaged and unable to dive. Kretsch claimed that his sub had been attacked by a sea monster, which climbed onto the vessel, causing it to take on water. According to Kretsch, the monster was a fearsome sight. It had horns, small deep-set eyes, masses of monstrous teeth, and a small head. Its attack had caused the sub to surface, leaving it vulnerable to the British warship's capture. But newly released records revealed that the truth behind the sea monster's story is far from fantastical. A crew member named Gottshammer recalled that Kretsch had been chilly and insisted on a heater being fitted to the officer's compartment. This required running cabling from the sub through the main hatch, which meant it could no longer be properly sealed. When the British warship was sighted, the hatch was ordered shut and the sub was put into a dive. Unfortunately, the hatch immediately failed, filling the U-boat with seawater. It caused the sub to resurface, leaving the crew no choice but to surrender. And thus, the legend of the sea monster was born, out of shame and incompetence. A convenient cover-up for Kretsch's failure. Sharks. During the Second World War, the US Navy considered many dangers that could threaten their personnel. One threat, however, was initially considered insignificant: shark attacks. The Navy's Research and Development Branch concluded that sharks were not interested in strange objects floating in the sea, and were therefore considered not a significant danger to personnel. The assumption was that the loud commotion created by sinking vessels would drive the sharks away. But as it turned out, the truth was far more sinister. The data they had from naval engagements came from World War I. Those battles took place in freezing waters, and sharks had not been encountered before. It was not until the naval battles of World War II and tropical waters that sharks became an issue. In 1943, Lieutenant Arthur George Reading experienced firsthand just how dangerous sharks can be. After his plane crashed into the sea with radio man Everett Hardin Almond, sharks immediately became a real threat. Reading described how he spent 16 hours fighting off the relentless attacks of sharks using his binoculars as a weapon. The situation quickly escalated when Almond became wounded and a cloud of blood filled the water. 5 sharks repeatedly attacked Almond, tearing apart his leg. While Reading tried to keep his companion afloat, lashing out with his binoculars, he was struck by a tail, breaking his jaw. They were separated, and Almond was eventually overcome and killed. The incident highlights the true danger posed by sharks in tropical waters during wartime, contrary to what the Navy had initially thought. All nature reserves the right to be unpredictable, especially in habitats we're not accustomed to, like the ocean. Dolphin Assassins. It's been confirmed that military forces have been using dolphins and whales for various operations since the 1960s. These marine creatures have been trained to carry out a wide range of tasks, from delivering tools to identifying torpedoes and mines. However, it seems their training does not stop there. Reports suggest that dolphins can be trained to remove divers' face masks, leaving them helpless and forcing them to surface. Even more disturbingly, these animals can be fitted with lethal weapons, including pistols and explosive gas-injecting wasp knives. Recently, Hamas provided evidence of an even more sinister use of these trained marine animals. They revealed a dolphin face harness that has a spear gun attachment, allegedly belonging to an Israeli dolphin referred to as a hostile aquatic unit. According to Hamas, this dolphin had chased one of their divers, raising concerns about the dangerous potential of these trained animals. While the use of dolphins and whales in military operations may seem like a novel idea, the revelation of their sinister capabilities raises many questions about the ethics of using animals for warfare. We've reached the end of our underwater journey, my dear friends. As we've seen, the underwater world is filled with rare and extraordinary creatures that captivate and mystify us. And yet, each and every one of you is more special and unique. We are so lucky to be able to spend this time together. Speaking of the unknown, I invite you to join me on another thrilling adventure where we explore the enigmatic world of atmospheric beasts. These elusive creatures, much like their underwater counterparts, are illuminated beings that float through the air and possibly even journey through outer space or across dimensions. To uncover these mysteries surrounding these awe-inspiring beings, be sure to watch our previous episode on atmospheric beasts. I'll add it as a card to the end of this episode. Until we meet again to unravel more mysteries, I hope your dreams are filled with wonder and the undiscovered. But full disclosure, on this show, sweet dreams are not guaranteed. Good night.